Hi, my name is Shelby, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can teach your students to take elements from a science lesson and incorporate it into an art project. These are the materials that you'll need for the science part of the lesson. So you will have students fill a shallow dish with milk and then add whatever food colorings they'd like to the center of the milk. Next, you will tell the students to add a little drop of dish soap to a Q-tip and then touch the Q-tip to the milk and observe what happens. This is the exciting end product of the experiment. As you are doing the experiment with students, you will want to have them make predictions and take notes on what they are observing. You should also question them about theories related to their predictions. This can look like a PEOE, which is predict, explain, observe, explain, in which you should then explain the science concepts behind what they are seeing. Milk is mostly water, however, there are fats, proteins, minerals, and vitamins as well. Milk fat is a nonpolar molecule that does not dissolve in water. The nonpolar end of the dish soap bonds with the nonpolar end of the milk fat and pushes the water molecules and food coloring away as the broken dish soap molecules move toward the fat. This is why we see these really cool colors, which leads us to ask how we can use these colors to create art that ties into the theme of place in the grade 7 curriculum. To begin to transform the science experiment into the art project that the students will be working on, you'll need to have the students take pictures of the final experiment that they're observing and then have them print them out. They can do this on an iPad, a phone, or other device such as a camera. They will also need a canvas, some drawing tools. I have charcoal, graphite pencils, blurring sticks, and watercolor paint, as well as scissors and glue. The next thing you'll have your students do is cut out pieces of the images of the experiment and glue them onto a canvas. Then they're going to be drawing a landscape that has elements of a colorful sky. During this step, you should question your students about the elements and principles of art that they're choosing. So you might question them about color and the shapes and the space that they're using. And you also could question them about principles such as balance and movement. So is there movement in the sky, and are they trying to balance some of the colors and make the picture seem realistic? Next, you will have students use watercolor paint and other drawing tools to create the idea of place, which is really prominent in grade 7 arts education. So they'll use the colors of the sky that they have cut out and start to blend and create an image of place. Here you can see the final visual representation of a landscape that I created by using the cutouts of the pictures that I took of the science experiment and using them as colors within the sky. Some decisions I made revolved around balance, line, tools, color, shape, and many more. These are topics you can discuss with students as they work to make their own decisions within their art piece. As we have discussed in class, it's important to not just lay out and perfectly demonstrate to students what you're expecting and wanting them to do in their visual representations. You might give a few examples, but other than that, you should encourage them to make their own decisions and observe and question them along the way. So I considered that it would be great to do this with a grade 7 class, although you could probably do it from anywhere from grade 3 to grade 7, maybe even a little higher grades. Some curriculum connections would be in the science curriculum MS 7.3, which is Mixtures and Solutions 7.3, and it states investigate the properties and applications of solutions, including solubility and concentration. For the art connections, there are 3 of them, so CP 7.10, CP 7.11, and CP 7.12. All these are creative and productive outcomes, so the students are actually using what they've learned in the science and taking it to create their own visual representation. So for a time plan, I thought it would be great to do about a half-hour lesson to do the actual science experiment and then talk about the science concepts and processes involved. Following that would be 2 hours for students to work on their individual landscape representations and discuss in groups questions related to the importance of place and how the elements of art can be utilized to reflect place. Finally, for the assessment techniques, it would probably be an excellent idea to use co-constructed rubrics, so talk with the students and create something that everybody agrees on what they're working toward for elements and principles in their art, and then also do ongoing formative assessments through observation and questioning to assess students' knowledge of the science concepts and how they make artistic decisions to send messages about place. So again, as Monique has mentioned, as we have discussed in class, it's not always about the product. We need to make sure there's a process that goes along with it, and we're questioning our students about the decisions they make for us to understand if they are knowledgeable and aware of the way that they can represent things visually by using different elements and principles of art. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned a little something about the connections between art and science.